What's up, y'all? This brother D, and I'm back again, bringing y'all another exclusive on none other than the late great young dog. Since this is 6 months of his passing, I figured it'd be only appropriate for us to, kind of do a recap, kind of let some of the people who haven't been following it all the way through, kind of make them a little aware of exactly what's going on. So, with no further ado, once again, I'm Brother D of the Hip Hop Humanitarians, and we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. So, we're gonna just kind of recap it a little bit. Okay. Now, the first concern that I genuinely had regarding this whole situation was there were really no videos of Dolph, kind of before the murder. Usually when he's out in his cars and he's all over the city, you got people out. You got people everywhere taking videos, taking pictures, but this particular day, of course, nobody was out. Then you got Mia J, which was out casket shopping for the man before he was even dead. The man wasn't even in Memphis. That always struck me very odd, and I'm sure a lot of you guys too. Also, I'm sure a lot of you guys are unaware that, he asked Mia J to sign a prenup, which she refused. She didn't want to sign the prenup. Now, to me, that seems a little weird. I mean, I kind of smell a rat. She's out chopper shopping. She's out casket shopping a week before his death. The man's not even in town. She just so happens to be buddy with the insurance agent and the pastor that set up the GoFundMe that handles insurance for the cookie shop, and a lot of other people around that has had, large insurance policies and so forth attached to them. She's handled them as well. Now, I'm sure with her and her husband, her husband is also, related to, Daddy-O, that runs PRE. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, you kind of have to follow the money. I mean, you got to ask yourself, who had the biggest to gain from Dolph's death? Who had the biggest profit to make? And keep in mind, all of his assets and his cars and those contracts. I mean, where is all this going? I mean, because his family's been very quiet about it. I mean, are they getting their proper due? Are they, taking responsibility? Or, a lot of these things that he worked hard for to sweat off of his back, are they in the right possessions of his family, his children, the people that really love him, the people that really made a difference in his life, that were really there for him, not just to get something out of him. It seems like, a lot of people were around him because, they seen he was a rising star and he had things going. And if you attached yourself to him, clearly, you could get a come up. So the question is a lot of those people, were they really around him out of loyalty, or were they just around, just to come up? This is the question that a lot of people are, really asking. I'm not saying anything, in particular about anybody, but what I'm saying is it's looking like a lot of these people were just there for a payday, and it don't really seem like they had a lot of love for Dolph. I mean, this had to be a very lonely and dark life that he lived. Now I understand why he wanted to have so much time, to himself, away from people, because clearly if you listen to his music, he seen the hate, he seen the snakes, and he knew they were coming. He knew they would come. At what time? I'm sure he didn't know exactly at that particular time. But once again, it just seems strange to me because it appears that Dolph was murdered inside the cookie shop by someone in the back of the store. I mean, how else would his arm be out the window? I mean, think about it. Clearly, then he was moved. It's mighty strange that an officer was already on the scene, and from my understanding, shooters on the roof. So a lot of, if you go back and you look at those videos, you know, a lot of people were looking up. If you go back and you look, you see the officer on his phone, and he's kind of looking up. I mean, clearly, just take a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. We all can clearly see exactly, you know, what's going on with this situation. I mean, clearly it's a big cover up. There's a lot of, you know, scandals. There's a lot of people involved. And, you know, my question is, you know, my biggest concern is how many more people, you know, are gonna have to be snaked out by people, you know, that were supposed to love them. I mean, clearly in the hip hop community, in our communities, these things tend to happen a lot, you know, and they seem to, you know, not be unsolved. They seem to go swept under the rug because they don't shine as much light on the hip hop community, you know, as they would say, you know, another community. I mean, we're not gonna go on all that, but you guys understand what I'm saying. I mean, it's been 6 months. Okay, they've made several arrests. They've made attempts, you know, but really, are they really putting their investigation into this? I mean, keep in mind, you got some of the people that's investigating this particular case that's related to some of the people who are suspects in it. So, I mean, you tell me, are they really trying to solve this case, or is it just kind of getting pushed aside? Because honestly, it feels like us, the fans, are actually putting more effort and more time into actually trying to figure out and find and be able to let the late great Dolph rest in peace. You tell me, ladies and gentlemen, how do you feel about it? Does this just seem like an elaborate cover-up? Does it just seem like they're just, you know, telling the fans, yeah, we're working, we're doing everything we can, you know, picking up, you know, little puns here and there, you know, strategically satisfying the masses? Because that's clearly what it seems like to me. So, once again, I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. This is Brother D with the Hip Hop Humanitarians. I appreciate you guys for being here. Like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel grow. Thank you, and have a great day.